Alright, so we're on to game 4. This one is a weird game where you have to pick up all these, there's all these artifacts that are laying around the table, and you have to walk around and pick them up at the end of the moon phase on a turn, on a 4 plus. So, I got to deploy my army first, and I got first turn, so I deployed my Dark Elves first, and he deployed his Ogres first, because it's just your allied forces on the table, and then the rest of your army comes in as reserves. So as you can see, here come all the forces of undead. Those zombies aren't supposed to be there, but here comes all the forces of undead. And I failed to pick up my artifact. My opponent, Brian, picked up his artifact with his Slaughtermaster in there. And the only thing that really happened was I purple sunned through those ogres, killing 5 of them. So Ogre's not having a good turn 1, and we're off to Lizardmen turn 1. So we just finished Lizardman turn 1. His Lizardmen show up onto the table. What he brought here was just a lot of units of 15 skinks with javelin and shields. And then that's an ancient stegodon with blowpipes. He has 2 units of 2 salamanders, a big unit of I think they're just Saurus with a metal slan and a old blood on a mount, and he's got a level 2 heavens wizard, and then just more salamanders. And yeah, in the magic phase, I got a scroll. He got my scroll out, trying to do final transmutation on me, and the purple sun didn't really do anything. So we're off to vampire counts turn 2. Alright, so we just finished vampire counts turn 2. I had no charges. Just kind of moved everything up. I'm getting more zombies on the table right here. I believe that's what I'm just showing up. So I just move up on my guys. Skeletons move up. Ghosts are going up the left flank to go look at some stegodons. In the magic phase, all I cast is Doom and Darkness on that big block of guys. Raise those 2 units of zombies. And I tried to shoot down that ogre, failing to do so because he has his 6-up armor that's just doing nothing, or that's just saving him. And that's the end of vampire counts. So we're off to Lizardman turn 2. Alright, so we just finished Lizardman turn 2. His guys just kind of moved up. Salamanders got in the building. Ancient Stegodon moved up. Salamanders all moved up. In the magic phase, he dispelled Doom and Darkness. He tried to cast Final Transmutation, which I dispelled. And then I believe he cast, I think it's Enchanted Blades on his skinks over there. And then in the shooting phase, his salamanders threw up on my harpies, causing them to flee. And his other group of salamanders ended up only doing 1 wound to these Vargeists over here. And that was Lizardman turn, so we're off to Vampire Counts turn 3. Alright, so we just finished Vampire Counts turn 3. I had a couple charges where it was my Spirit Host into a Stegodon over there. My Vargeist flew up. My dogs charged into the flank of those salamanders. And my other dogs charged into that ogre, just because, why not? I thought it was going to be funny. The rest of my movement, I just kind of moved things up. Try to control more of the artifacts. Magic got shut down. Nothing really happened at all with the magic. My harpies rallied, but whatever. So in the combat, my Spirit Host killed the Stegodon. Shooting Terrorgeist killed the Stegodon. That other Terrorgeist killed a Gorgon, and my dogs right there won combat by 1. But he reformed to me, and over there, that ogre beat down all my dogs. So, we are off to Lizardman turn 3. So we just finished Lizardman turn 3. The only things that really happened were my Dark Elves got shot and panicked. And then, that character failed his charge by an 8th to make it into my Terrorgeist. And he did 4 wounds to my Terrorgeist in shooting. So we're off to Vampire Counts turn 4. So we just finished Vampire Counts turn 4. My Vargeist charged the Skinks. Spirit Host charged the Skinks. He killed 2 on the stand and shoot. And then over here, my Harpies charged into Chameleon Skinks. Graveyard charged with the Salamander. Salamander fled. And then the zombies charged that Salamander, causing him to run off the board. Spirit Host charged the Ogre. Ogre fled. I couldn't catch him, so Ogre ended up being like 5 inches away. In Magic, I total powered twice. One off a casting of 2 dice, one on a casting of 3. But I healed up my Terrorgeist up. He has 5 wounds left. Ended up hurting all my wizards. But I screamed off that Ogre on that side. Dark Elves didn't do anything. In that Harpy fight, no one hurt anybody, so I ended up winning combat by 1. Vargeists only killed one guy with attacks and 2 guys with stomps. So we're off to Lizardmen turn.
This is Lizardmen turn 4. Shit happened. Lizardman, he shot the hell out of my zombies there, did 1 wound to my Terrorgeist, threw up and killed 11 Graveguard, 12 Graveguard, killed some Graveguard. Slaughtermaster joined that unit. He won combat over here by 1, and he did 1 wound to me, and I won combat by 3, but he's still there. And his skink unit picked up the the magical artifact. And we're off to Vampire Council turn 5.
So we just finished Vampire Council turn 5. My Graveguard charged in on those skinks, and I just kind of moved everything else up. And Terrorgeist flew around. That Terrorgeist was screaming at some salamanders. I just had to kill his guys so he would drop the magic artifact. Those guys ended up wiping out guys on that side. That's where I screamed out the salamanders. And then we're off to Lizardmen turn 5. Alright, so I have no idea what happened to my Lizardmen turn 5 video. But we ended up having to call the game at turn 5 because they're saying like 10 minutes to drop dice. And we didn't know if we could finish turn 6 before the end. And we just kind of math hammered it out anyway afterwards, and it ended up being that I had more artifacts than he. Well, in his turn 5, his source charged the flank of my Graveguard, and I ended up wiping out his skink unit, except for like the one guy that had the artifact. But it ended up being that I had 3 artifacts to his 2. So I ended up winning the scenario, and I ended up getting also more victory points than he got off me. So I ended up getting full points off of him, which is 21. It was a really fun game. I really liked that scenario. My big problem with it was that on a 4+ you can pick up the artifact, but my Graveguard had to sit around for like 2 turns trying to pick up that artifact because I couldn't roll a 4+ with 2 characters trying to like pick it up. So that was a little disappointing, and it would be kind of like, the longer you spend on the artifact, the easier it gets, so that eventually if you have to waste 3 turns on there, if you roll like the 3, then a 2, then a 1, the next turn you should just pick it up. I mean, you still are trying to play a game no matter how the scenarios are written. So that's just my opinion on it. My opponent was really good. A lot of fun. Brian, sorry. He's from Edmonton. He was a lot of fun to play against. And so this is putting me right now. I'm sitting at 61 points, and I know that the person that's in first place has about 67 points. So I'm still in the running for it at this point, and I will see you after game 5.